MVP Sniper.
Boy wonder from Team Liquid, not their latest pickup, but their second latest pickup. He's a Terran player. He looked indomitable for a while in the last few months. His name is...
Liquid TaeJa.
A lot of Team Liquid fans, a lot of TaeJa fans here cheering him on.
And I'm always happy when we have that guy in the crowd who goes, yeah, over the rest of the road. Very good.
And of course, the game directing done by Heaven Dom from GOM TV.
And what excellent observing it is. Make sure we miss none of the important action. It's really important, by the way, how good observing is. You can have bad casting, bad playing, but the observing has to be good, in my opinion.
I completely agree with you, as we have this game starting to unravel, and we are having close air positions here. Sniper's just about to find out where TaeJa is, and he is going to reveal his Overlord. Here are the percentages of the fan voting, as we see 61% in favor. I don't think the numbers add up quite right there.
1% draw.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so TaeJa, 61% to Sniper. Oops, changed again. It's not right. It's not 100.
People aren't quite sure whether Sniper has 39 or 38% chance to win.
Well,
it's in the middle. We'll keep you updated.
I would agree to a certain extent. I think that it may be a little bit more equal.
You think it's 38 or 39?
No, I think it's like 42.
Ah, okay. I was more on the 41.5, but they don't do decimals. So.
I think it's going to be a close series, that's for sure. Of course, MVP Sniper is definitely uprising as of recent, but TaeJa's just that guy. He's a solid player. He makes minimal amounts of mistakes. His macro is insane, and when I say the word macro, I mean his production facilities always downtimes nicely. They are always with lights on. The electricity bills within the barracks are very expensive when TaeJa's playing. And we do see the gas taken very early on here for Sniper. As mentioned earlier on our previous Terran vs. Zerg game, could be signs of aggression, but doesn't necessarily mean it, as we saw Leenock choose the option to go straight towards a lair.
Yeah, that's true. He went for that quick lair to get very quick infestors out, and we saw what his plan was with that, a very quick burrowed infestor attack. Sniper apparently known as a macro Zerg. Well, who isn't? But he also has a similar playstyle with Dongregoo, and that does make some sense since they are in the same team.
Yeah.
And you have that whole flow of information, that interaction between teammates sharing their ideas.
And there's his win percentages as well, as we can see Sniper's win percentage versus all is 58 versus Terran 52. So percentages up in the air a little bit for this matchup.
And of course, he hasn't played in a lot of foreign tournaments, so his percentages are comprised of facing against mostly Code A and Code S level Korean players. Pretty impressive.
So we do have quite a textbook opening here from TaeJa. Of course, one barracks expansion to double refineries taken, which will allow you to afford the factory straight towards the reactor. So we will initially have the Hellions coming out, and by the looks of it, on such a large map, the follow-up can be straight into Banshees. It can be a third command center as well before the Banshees come down. Or on the other hand, we do have speed being researched, but as we can see, there isn't any, or there's just one drone in the gas, so not a massive income of gas. So a third base will likely be taken by Sniper as well very shortly.
Yep. Just one drone on gas is, it's good to keep that one drone on gas. You might wonder why one drone, why not 0 drones and then later top it off with 3. It's because one drone mines slightly more gas than 33% of what 3 drones do.
And as you can see, TaeJa, we mentioned it hasn't been performing as well as he did in the summer, and he does suffer. A lot of people actually ask questions, what is that on his wrist? Well, there you know, it is pain relief patches on his wrist when he's playing.
A fairly severe wrist injury. I heard that TaeJa's hand, the way that he learned to hold the keyboard and the mouse wasn't quite maybe very good. Everyone needs to be very mindful of that, everyone at home and everyone here. It's very important to have the proper body posture if you want to be able to play and not suffer from any injuries. Once those injuries start, it's really hard to make them stop, because it's hard to stop playing games. So it's best to try and have a good ergonomic position. Try to educate yourself on that.
All right, so we don't have a layer coming down yet, but we do have 3 gases. I'm sure it will come down very shortly. We do have Stim used for the gas here instead of Cloak Banshees on a big map. We talked about it a little bit before. On a big map like this, it is a little bit more difficult to use Hellions and Banshees as efficiently as you would do on a smaller map. But of course, you need to have some map presence. You need to try to slow creep, to have the option to get into the drone line, which is why we do see the Hellions present. But the option for the gas has actually gone over to a much faster double engineering bay, stim down as well. And with double engineering bays down at this time, 2-2 is actually going to start roughly around 10-minute mark, which leads to a very powerful 2-2 timing, which we could see develop here from Liquid TaeJa.
Yeah, and this type of play, is it not true that it's kind of popularized a bit more by Marine King? Kind of in that time where the rivalry between Dongregoo and Marine King was really heating up. And it was Marine King who started out with that triple orbital double engineering bay, just trying to get everything at once and play very greedily in order to try and catch up with that Zerg. So he's choosing for that type of play here.
And we see Sniper building a Spore Crawl in the main base. He doesn't quite know what he's playing against here. And he hasn't had the option to scout, so he's got a handful of Lings out here to push the Hellions back. But to be honest, the creep spread's pretty good so far from Sniper with his third base down. And he's going to try and get us around here. And one Hellion gets caught, but it manages to squeeze itself out. And TaeJa doesn't lose a single Hellion and kills quite a few Lings off there. And that's actually really good for TaeJa. Having lost those Hellions at this stage of the game, it really can spiral in bad ways for TaeJa.
Yeah, Zerg would be like, okay, you already lost some Hellions, so you're not going to be able to do as good of an attack, and they'll make more drones than they usually would, so you got to keep that threat alive. And in fact, TaeJa's units loss tab shows a very, very nice 0.
And for the first time, Sniper is going to scout in here. He will actually see what we described before with the barracks coming down a little bit later on because the engineering bay is down. The Overseer didn't scout the engineering base, but I'm pretty sure he can presume they're there on a map like this big. He knows the third command center's there, so he knows that he's playing against Bio as well. And now he knows on top of that that the engineering base are going to be there. And well, we have a changeling with these 3 Marines. Note one thing though, Grubby, is that the overlay did state before that Sniper plays very similar to DRG. Well, what do we have? A Spire about to complete, which is DRG, trademark.
Yeah, still that Spire, a Mutalisk, Link, Baneling type of play. And we should be seeing a number of about 5 or 6 Mutalisks starting anytime soon. As Baneling speed is about to finish up, as well as 1-1. We've got 6 gases for the Zerg. No Mutalisk actually being started yet. He's going to start off with that attack upgrade for the Mutalisk. And he wants to make them all at once, so he's probably going to wait till he has 600 minerals, since that's how it's gas lined up.
Alright, so that changeling's still there, scouting. Doesn't really see too much, though. But right now, we are having a movement out from TaeJa, from Sniper, who's trying to regain map control. A good, solid start from both players. Nobody's really taken any hits. TaeJa's maintained a good high-level speed of play. He's got his 2-2 on the way now. He's got a third base down. He's got a lot of production kicking in as we see the third base money being used towards an additional factory and extra barracks. But does he have anti-mutalist setup? And I don't think he does right now. And that could swing the game heavily in favor of Sniper.
Do you think that those 4 or 5 Marines he has in his main base with a medevac is like ample Mutalist defense? Because he's choosing not to go for turrets yet, which is usually what we see against Mutas.
Yeah, definitely not enough. Definitely not enough there. But that's more so I feel for Scout. With only 4 Marines against 6 to more Mutalists, those Marines will die despite their +1 and stim. But we do see, it is 5 Marines.
Okay.
5 Marines should be enough actually with a medevac, but it depends on the Mutalist count here that comes in.
Alright, so Sniper's got his army positioned there in the middle of the map. He's got excellent Overlord spread all over the map, and he's just going to use this Mutalist to keep getting information, try and do some damage, which admittedly didn't work at all yet. So we shouldn't kid ourselves and say that the Mutalist did damage yet, but very importantly, he would like to choose the time and place to fight. And when you have an army like this, you need to fight against an unsieged Terran army. So Sniper is looking to choose where the fight is going to happen.
And a pickup here from Sniper on a medevac. There's first strike in this game, to be honest, over to Sniper. But despite the Mutalist not doing damage, the one key thing of a Mutalist in a fight against Terran is that you punish a Terran player from escaping. You can pick off all the medevacs and you get a lot more kill. But we're about to have a fight here as the Lings engage and the Marines are trying to fight against the Banes, but a massive detonation from Sniper. And TaeJa gets pushed back really fast before his 2-2 2-2 upgrade even finishes there.
It was moments before 2-2-1 finished, and that was just the perfect time for Sniper to fight. The tanks weren't quite sieged up yet, and that's the beauty of Mutalisk and Zergling play. Very, very proactive. And now TaeJa is going to go back into his shell, stick his head behind the shell, and try and... Oh, he doesn't raise the supply depot!
Uh-oh, the Banelings are going to come rolling, and they're hunting the Marines down, and the Banelings are going to detonate everywhere. Is TaeJa going to even hold on to game number 1 here after such a steady, slow start to it with more and more links coming? The door gets shut, but it also gets blown down immediately. But with the amount of Marines here, he should be okay with consistent reinforcements.
Wow, TaeJa taking huge hits here, losing a lot of supply depots at the front there, and the floodgates are open, but not that many units streaming across the map quite yet for Sniper, so it might not be the game-ending move yet that it looked like. Certainly, this base won't be able to come out. Oh,
if only that had gotten into a planetary fortress, that would have aided TaeJa out so much. With the amount of Banelings coming down and the lack of tanks here, I'm feeling a little bit worried for TaeJa, who is in a kind of split decision. Do I defend my fourth? Do I come out into the open? Do I turtle back, as mentioned before? Well, he is sitting back, and well, we're about to have Sniper charge again here. This could be very deadly.
The wall off is not completed yet. The Zerglings or Banelings are looking for the best point of entry. Is Sniper going to commit here? He has a lot riding on the later game. He doesn't need to commit. He's making more drones. He's mining off of his fourth now, and he's also getting pathogen glands, as well as that hive tech, which should give him the ability to go for a greater spire, I do think.
And TaeJa didn't lose that much if you think about it. His economy was never really touched there. He lost a few units here and there, but obviously they're going to get replenished. His upgrades have stayed consistent. He's approaching 3-3.
Yeah.
He did lose supply depots, but they were immediately rebuilt. So to be honest, TaeJa didn't lose that much. I'd probably say that, I don't know if you agree, that Sniper is in a bit of a lead at the moment, but not a massive one.
Yeah, a bit of a lead, but yeah, as you said, there were no infestors on the field yet, for example, so there's no energy gain yet. If TaeJa can be cost efficient in the next fights, definitely it's not a game-losing position by any means. I do agree with that. And TaeJa also very daringly started that 3-3 upgrade even as he was being put against the rope. So that's definitely going to help out momentarily here as they're about to finish up. And he's going to be on 3-3 for a long time while Sniper is still working off of 2-2.
That's a massive point, and as a player, you'd know when you get in a pressure situation like that, you often forget to just continue to upgrade to 3-3. And having seen TaeJa still keep upbeat with his upgrades really gives a good insight that he's going to play well, he's going to keep going in this game. But one thing I can notice, look at that creep spread. That is rather impressive here. It's going to make it very difficult for TaeJa to move, you know, up to the halfway line here.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with all those overlords there, it's very difficult for the medevacs to slip past. The Mutalisks are going to fly and try to intercept that medevac, and they'll do a fair job of it, but the medevac will be able to offload. Now, I think TaeJa has a read that Sniper's going to go for Broodlords, obviously. He's already started 2 extra starports. And one move that we often see TaeJa do against Zerg when he's going up against Broodlords is not to just take a direct fight. He'll often load up about 4 medevacs full of tanks and marines, drop it into the main base, and then try and do damage like that. And then he'll remax as much as he can on Vikings and Marines and try to win the main fight. For now, it's just single medevacs, but this might be a move that we'd have to look out for.
The creep spread, the overlord placement as well. Eagle Eye Sniper here is spotting everything. He's denied every form of harassment. But now we are seeing the Seeker missile being researched. The Ravens are coming in as 8 Broodlords are being morphed. But as you mentioned, a very wise thing to do here is somehow cost efficiently try to just delete the tanks out of the game. It's going to be a hard thing to do. Doesn't want to get rid of all of them because there are still quite a heavy Ling and Baneling presence. But the more and more presence that we see from Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor, the more useless these tanks will be.
Yeah, and already there are 8 Broodlords on the field. Luckily for TaeJa, they were morphed all the way across the map, so they do still need to fly or soar over. Kind of coasting by there over to TaeJa's side of the map. 8 more Corruptors are coming. They'll be able to back up against Vikings and whatnot. And an Ultralisk Cavern is being produced to provide that so difficult and nightmarish tech switch for a Terran player.
Oh, you are so smart, because once the Vikings get out there and the Ravens, what really can they do against Ultralisk? Especially as right now we are seeing Sniper maxed out. He's going to start banking money. He's got 500 gas in the bank already, and that will continue to increase at a rapid rate. And eventually he's going to be able to remake and remax with Ultralist, which is going to be very difficult, and that's a thought that TaeJa has to be thinking about in the future, but right now, in the present, he has to think about this fight.
Oh my god, it's a very difficult fight for TaeJa. He does some nice splitting, trying to avoid getting massively fungal growth there, and for now it's working out, but he can't really close the distance with those Broodlords. In come the Lynx and Banelings, and now the fungals are huge!
Oh dear, the fungals were massive there. The Ravens don't have enough energy yet. They can only put auto turrets down, which do almost nothing here, and TaeJa loses a massive chunk of his army, going down to 115 supply, and Sniper stays at 160. There's not too much support to these Broodlords at the moment, though.
Yeah, he's taking some pot shots at the Broodlords, but his ground army has been really annihilated here, trying to take down those Corruptors. There's still a few infested Terrans which will be able to shoot at the Vikings. They're almost at the end of their lifespan. TaeJa's army is really destroyed here, and he's remaxing on Marines and Vikings. Well, I shouldn't say remaxing, that's a very far way off. And in the meantime, Sniper making 7 Ultralists, and there's not a Marauder to be seen.
Sniper is looking to close this game out right now. A great fight for him, and then using his bank to transition over to a different army is going to catch TaeJa off guard. It's going to be very, very difficult to actually defend this. TaeJa is going to have to use, as we pointed out, so many reactors, only 2 tech labs. He's going to have to use position to his advantage. But even then, 2 Marauders at a time, I don't think it's going to be enough here. And Sniper is building the army. The Banelings are being morphed. We're about to see a champion come crashing through here. He wants to win this game, and he wants to win it right now as a preview from what is to come this evening with the Code S just hours away.
Yeah, Sniper sending a powerful message here against his Terran adversary in the GSL round of 4. He says, I don't need to hide strategies, I'm really good, I can do it as often as I'd like. And certainly, who can disagree with him there? Nice fungal growth there on the Vikings. Doesn't really need to, the Vikings are no threat to him whatsoever. But why again not? Ultralists and Banelings are gonna come in here, and it's just Marines and 2 Marauders. What can TaeJa do here, really?
And the 2 Marauders say, guys, where is the backup? As the Banelings come crashing through, the SCVs immediately explode. And the position we talked about is good, but it is not good enough. And Sniper says, what's up? GG, and takes game number 1 in quite a convincing fashion. And as mentioned, that stamps a big saying. I'm here for GSL, guys. I'm playing Terran. This is my Terran game.
Yeah. Wow, it kind of goes back to that point maybe where TaeJa lost that first big fight. He was behind, and it's so scary to be behind against a Zerg who has so much room to maneuver on a map like that, with so many bases there. TaeJa never really got that Doom drop going. That is one of his signature moves, so he took a head-on fight, which usually is, let's say, inadvisable, or at least very, very challenging indeed. Right head on, Broodlords hanging behind, and all the Lynx and Banelings in front.
I mean, if I was to pinpoint a strategical point or problem within that game, I think you broke it down exactly as that was the big turning point where TaeJa fell short of the mark. Until then, he was really going at a good pace. But I think the biggest problem, and I don't think it's really a problem from TaeJa, it's more excellence from Sniper.
Yeah.
TaeJa couldn't break the initial drop. He couldn't get drops in. And any Terran versus Zerg, you can't fight as straight up, because then you will fight against the Zerg in the middle of the map, and usually that's what we see happen. You get crushed. You have to pull them out of position with a drop. You have to get their army out so you can move freely through the middle of the map. And because of the denial of drops consistently, I think we had 2 to 3 drops denied before the initial movement out there. TaeJa was like, well, I can't drop him. I guess I kind of got to go, right? And Sniper was already there, ready. And you have to commend the creep spread and the overlord placement for Sniper being able to see everything.
I mean, how many drones were killed by drops there? 0,
Zero.
I think. We just take a look at that game, Symbol against the STC on Entombed Valley. Even though Symbol won, I mean, a lot of drones were killed by drops, completely shut down by